quiet turning of life. Fortune is not a sudden visitor falling from the sky, nor is it a blind force that chooses without reason. It is shaped gently, like water carving stone, through the habits of mind, the purity of intention, and the way one walks through each moment. When the heart is scattered, luck seems distant. When the heart is gathered and clear, even small moments begin to glow with opportunity. There are 8 practices that open the unseen doors, through which harmony and good fortune naturally flow. The first is mindful awareness in all actions. When one is fully present, whether walking, speaking, or working, mistakes lessen. Clarity increases. Awareness prevents waste of energy and allows even ordinary tasks to become seeds of future success. The second is right intention, the quiet setting of the heart before any action. When intentions are rooted in kindness rather than greed, in understanding rather than harm, the path ahead begins to align itself. What is planted inwardly always returns outwardly in form. The third is generosity without expectation. Giving loosens the grip of fear and opens unseen channels of abundance. What is shared returns in ways that cannot always be measured. A generous spirit never remains empty, for life itself becomes generous in response. The fourth is disciplined speech. Words are like seeds carried by wind. Once released, they grow where they land. Speech that is truthful, gentle, and timely builds trust and protection around a person. Through such speech, relationships become stable, and stability is a form of luck that endures. The fifth is patience in the face of delay or difficulty. Many lose their way not because the path is wrong, but because they cannot wait for the path to reveal its fruit. Patience transforms obstacles into teachers, and in that transformation, hidden doors begin to open. The sixth is mindful detachment from unnecessary craving. Desire without balance creates restlessness, and restlessness clouds judgment. When desire is understood, rather than chased blindly, the mind becomes steady. In that steadiness, better decisions arise, and better decisions bring better outcomes. The seventh is compassion toward all beings. A heart that wishes well to others creates an invisible field of protection. Even those who practice kindness in small ways find themselves surrounded by unexpected support. Compassion returns multiplied, often from places unseen. Good fortune is not random. It grows from a clear, mindful, and disciplined way of living that shapes outcomes over time. Mindful awareness in all actions is the first and most essential practice for inviting harmony and good fortune into life. When a person becomes fully present in each moment, life begins to shift in subtle but powerful ways. Awareness means more than simply noticing what is happening. It is the art of being completely engaged with whatever one is doing, whether it is speaking, working, walking, or even resting. In this state, confusion loses its strength, and mistakes become less frequent because the mind is no longer divided between past regrets and future worries. A mindful person develops a natural clarity that allows them to see situations as they truly are. This clarity leads to better decisions, and better decisions create smoother outcomes in life. Even small tasks, when done with full attention, become meaningful and effective. Over time, this way of living reduces unnecessary problems, as many difficulties are born from carelessness and distraction rather than fate. Mindful awareness also improves relationships. When a person listens with full attention, speaks with presence, and responds with understanding, trust naturally grows. People feel valued and respected, which strengthens bonds and opens doors to cooperation and support. These connections often become sources of unexpected opportunities in life. Another important aspect of mindfulness is that it slows down reactive behavior. Instead of responding with anger or confusion, a mindful person pauses internally, even if briefly, and chooses a wiser response. This pause can prevent conflicts, protect relationships, and preserve peace of mind. Mindful awareness and right intention help align actions with positive results. By reducing mistakes and guiding decisions with kindness and clarity. Right intention, the second practice, is the silent direction that shapes the entire journey of life. Every action begins first in the mind, long before it appears in the world. When intention is pure, even small efforts carry strength. When intention is confused or selfish, even great efforts lose direction. Therefore, the quality of one's inner purpose becomes the foundation upon which fortune is built. Right intention means choosing thoughts that are rooted in kindness, clarity, and understanding rather than greed, harm, or confusion. It is the quiet decision to move through life without causing unnecessary suffering to others or oneself. When a person begins each day with a sincere and balanced purpose, their actions naturally align with better outcomes. The mind becomes less divided, and energy is no longer wasted on conflicting desires. This practice also protects a person from inner struggle. Many difficulties in life do not come from outside conditions, but from inner contradiction, wanting one thing while doing another, or speaking in one way while thinking in another. Right intention brings unity to the mind, allowing thoughts, words, and actions to move in the same direction. In this unity, there is strength, and in strength, there is stability. Over time, right intention shapes character. A person becomes known not only for what they do, but for the purity behind what they do. This reputation creates trust, and trust becomes a form of invisible support in life. People are more willing to help, cooperate, and open doors for someone whose intentions feel sincere and harmless. Generosity, truthful speech, and compassion create strong relationships and unseen support systems that often return as unexpected opportunities. Generosity without expectation is the third practice, and it is one of the most powerful ways to invite balance and good fortune into life. True generosity is not limited to material giving. It includes time, attention, kindness, and understanding. When a person gives freely without calculating return, something profound begins to change within the mind. The grip of fear and lack begins to loosen, and in its place grows a sense of inner abundance. This practice teaches that life is not a closed container, but a flowing exchange. What is given outwardly does not disappear. It becomes part of a wider cycle that often returns in unexpected ways. A helping hand offered today may return tomorrow as support in a time of need. A kind word spoken in sincerity may open a door that was previously closed. These returns are not always immediate or visible, yet they are part of a natural rhythm of life. Generosity also purifies intention. When giving is done without expectation, it removes hidden motives and strengthens sincerity. The heart becomes lighter, less burdened by attachment to results. In this lightness, decisions become clearer and actions more effective. Many struggles in life come from holding too tightly, but generosity teaches the wisdom of letting go. It also transforms relationships. A generous person is often surrounded by trust and goodwill because others feel safe and valued in their presence. This sense of connection becomes a strong support system in life. Even in difficult times, such relationships can provide stability and guidance, patience and mindful detachment from excessive craving, prevent emotional disturbance, and allow better timing, judgment, and long-term success. Disciplined speech. The fourth practice is a quiet but powerful force that shapes relationships, reputation, and ultimately the direction of one's life. Words are never empty. They carry energy, intention, and consequence. Once spoken, they cannot be taken back, and they continue to live in the minds of others long after they are said. For this reason, careful and mindful speech becomes a foundation for stability and good fortune. Disciplined speech means speaking truthfully, kindly, and at the right time. Truthfulness builds trust, and trust is one of the strongest forms of support a person can have in life. When others know that one's words are reliable, relationships become stronger and more meaningful. In contrast, careless or false speech creates confusion, distance, and unnecessary conflict. Kind speech is equally important. Words spoken with harshness may win an argument, but lose connection. Gentle communication, even in disagreement, preserves respect and keeps doors open for understanding. Over time, people naturally gravitate toward those whose words bring peace rather than tension. Speaking at the right time is another aspect of discipline. Even true and kind words can lose their value if spoken at the wrong moment. Wisdom lies in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Silence, when used wisely, is not emptiness but strength. It allows situations to settle and prevents unnecessary harm. Disciplined speech also protects the mind of the speaker. Speaking without anger or impulse reduces regret and mental disturbance. Many conflicts begin with uncontrolled words, and many peaceful outcomes begin with careful speech. In this way, Language becomes a tool for harmony rather than disruption. As this practice deepens, a person's presence becomes calming to others. People feel safe in conversation, understood in expression, and respected in silence. This creates an environment where cooperation and goodwill naturally grow. Regular self-reflection and inner stillness develop wisdom, helping a person recognize opportunities and turn everyday life into a path of steady progress. Patience in the face of delay or difficulty is the fifth practice, and it is one of the most important foundations for lasting good fortune. Life does not unfold at a constant pace, and not every desire bears fruit immediately. Many people lose clarity and strength not because their path is wrong, but because they cannot endure the time it takes for results to mature. Patience teaches the mind to remain steady, even when outcomes are not visible. When patience is cultivated, the mind learns to accept the natural rhythm of life. Just as seasons cannot be rushed, meaningful results also require time to grow. This understanding reduces frustration and prevents impulsive decisions. A patient person does not force situations but allows them to develop fully, which often leads to better and more stable outcomes. Patience also transforms the way challenges are experienced. Difficult moments are no longer seen as failures, but as temporary phases of growth. Instead of reacting with anger or despair, the patient mind observes, adapts, and continues forward with quiet strength. This emotional stability becomes a form of protection against unnecessary suffering. In relationships, patience brings understanding. People are different in thought, behavior, and emotion, and impatience often leads to conflict. But when one listens, waits, and allows space for others, harmony naturally increases. This creates stronger bonds and reduces misunderstandings, which are often the root of separation. Patience also supports wisdom. A rushed mind tends to overlook details, while a patient mind sees more clearly. With clarity comes better judgment, and with better judgment come better results. Many opportunities in life are lost, not because they were unavailable, but because impatience caused them to be missed or misunderstood. Over time, patience shapes inner strength. It builds resilience, calmness, and confidence in the flow of life. A patient person is less shaken by uncertainty and more grounded in presence. This steady state of mind allows life to unfold in its own time, without unnecessary resistance.